specific land uses here, and a land use comes in that meets all the statutory guidelines and is in an industrial or manufacturing zone, which would meet the statutory provisions, and we have no prohibition, I don't know how we'd stop it.
That's true, because they're entitled to be judged under the zoning ordinances that exist at the time they file. And if you deny it on a basis that's not contained in the zoning code, they can sue you. So that's the other potential issue.
But under our licensing, it's as per federal law, correct?
Yeah,
That's our licensing requirement, right?
What we have in the enabling code for the land use, for the entire land use code, requires any business to be in compliance with state, local, and federal law, in order to meet the criteria of our land use code. And the business license then says any business who issue a license to has to meet the requirements of the land use code. So that's how you refuse to issue a license.
And that is federal law right now.
That is our law right
But
now.
Federal law says no right now.
It's a Schedule 1.
Right, and it's not changed yet. Okay.
So,
Yes, guys.
few more questions. First off, under purpose and summary of amendments and finding of facts, it says the state of Oregon functioning through the state legislature's adoption of Senate Bill 1531 in March of 2014 directed that medical marijuana facilities shall be permitted in community use throughout Oregon and establish the terms and conditions for such placement and delegated rulemaking and administrative authority for the program of the Oregon Health Division. And then
Right, it is mandatory that they be permitted. Yeah.
And then just one question about the conditional use hearings. The still comes before the council regardless of whether or not the planning commission approves it, correct?
No, sir. No, sir. Conditional uses are determined by the planning commission.
Now, even if they do approve it though, the council can still do the time, place, and manner?
No, sir. But you could request.
So the planning commission's gonna be able to determine whether or not we have
Yes.
packaging that's different, even though that has nothing to do with the land use.
That's correct. In a conditional use hearing, they would be able to function inside the delegation authority you provide to them. That delegation authority includes time of operation, lighting, signage, physical appearance of frontages, impacts on adjacent properties and mitigation to adjacent properties.
Okay, then I guess what I'm saying is nobody elected the planning commission, so
They did.
even though I serve on it, I would want to make a movement at some point in time here that we take manner out of their purview.
Okay, manner meaning,
I don't want them making the decision. When we've talked about manner, that's when we've talked about being able to come back and talking about the type of product that they sell.
right,
The
and
packaging.
they don't have that right. The planning commission
That's
does
what
not have that.
that's why I asked, do they have time, place, and manner?
They do have time, place,
They
and
have
manner,
time, place.
only as it relates to the zoning provisions under the code. They can't reach into something that they don't have jurisdiction over and make that decision.
Planning commission could make a decision on packaging.
But we still can after they.
Yes, sir, you could.
I strongly suspect that there's going to be
There'll be legislation.
legislation for that.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
So you may not have to do that.
I just wonder how soon that legislation on all the regulations is gonna happen, because it doesn't seem they're in place at all right now.
Well, they're working on it right now. It's one of their top go home things that they have to do. I mean, regular marijuana sales are going into effect in July 1. The rules and regs have to be in place, and they have to figure out how medical marijuana is going to fit in with the new regulations. So there will be bills. When it's going to happen, whether, obviously, if you make this decision tonight, and it goes into effect May 1, there's going to be a period of time between the decision becoming effective, or, I guess we go into effect immediately.
Does affect me.
Yeah, where there's not going to be guidance, but the people who file those permits are taking that risk too, because if the state comes in and changes changes the game, and they've made some investments based upon the existing rules, and they're gonna have to, they're gonna have to own that. So, I wish, the whole reason we had the moratorium and they enacted the statute is so we'd have some certainty on all these issues by the time you actually had to make this decision, and unfortunately, that's not the case.
So we make a decision where we have no certainty what it's gonna entail, is that right?
I mean, I think you have some certainty that there will be additional regulations on both medical marijuana dispensaries and on regular marijuana sales.
But we don't know what time.
Again, I don't know when, I can't tell you tonight, where those, what they look like now and where they're in, and part of that is what the legislature's doing, and part of that's what the OLCC's doing. So, all I know is they have to be done by July 1. And
Not
so
much
there's a
time.
couple of months.
Not much time. Okay,
Actually,
your
for
turn.
retail recreational marijuana, isn't it January first?
Yes, July 1.
July 1.
Starts the permitting
Right,
process. Yeah.
right, they start permits.
They have to start the permit as of January first, that's when that
Right,
starts.
yeah,
Right.
that's when they go through
Right.
it.
I've been asking some of my neighbors just to get kind of a feel, and it's like, basically, it's probably a really silly thought, but we keep talking about home rule, and I still have to think about the fact that, 61% of the people in the village did vote for this. So I go to the neighbors and I talk to them about this, majority did vote in favor of this, but what do you feel? I mean, there could be a facility right down the street or various locations, and, one guy said, I thought it was gonna be available at all the liquor stores. I mean, he was convinced that all liquor stores would have the product, so, people are not well informed necessarily on the location. But I didn't get anyone that was negatively saying, I just absolutely don't want it in my city. I mean, they probably don't want 8 of them. I was talking about the 3 versus 8, it's like, even 3 is probably too many potential, not that 3 would happen for sure. I mean, we're just a really small city, but, 8's kind of ridiculous. I'm basically, my opinion hasn't changed. I feel that we need to take as much legal authority as we can. I feel different than Jimmy in the form that I feel because of the fact that I feel I represent the people of Woodvillage and that they've spoken. I feel that we need to kind of look at that seriously. And I don't feel comfortable initiating some kind of a potential thing that could result in a lawsuit that's gonna spend taxpayers' money. I just don't feel comfortable with that. But I feel that we would have a lot more say in time, place, and manner by kind of moving forward with what we've already initiated. And I think that gives us a lot more ability, and I certainly understand, Pat's opinion, and I do understand Jimmy's opinion, so it's just that this is a land use issue, not necessarily what do we feel about it personally issue, it's simply a land use issue. From a land use perspective, it just makes more sense to have some control versus none. This is my opinion.
Well, remember the apartments, the people of, Woodvillage did not want them at all.
Well,
And that was a land use thing too, Yeah, I mean, you're for it or against it, I don't know, I just think we should do what's best for Woodvillage, and I just don't see it, so that's my opinion. I'm only one vote. Are we ready to vote on this then?
So if we wanted to move forward, it would just be a second reading.
You move to read by title only second, and then we come back to the council for enactment. And that would be a yes, no vote.
I move for second reading by title only, ordinance number 2-2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Nope.
That's 3-2, so we will read the ordinance by title only, an ordinance amending and revising the Woodvillage zoning and development code to permit medical marijuana dispensaries and recreational marijuana sales as a conditional use in the neighborhood commercial zone.
I move to adopt ordinance number 2-2015, an ordinance amending and revising the Woodvillage zoning and development code to permit medical marijuana dispensaries and recreational marijuana sales as a conditional use
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Nope.
For two, the ordinance is adopted, and it's got a provision in it that provides for, the ordinance to be effective immediately upon, signing and publication, so, it'll be turned over to the mayor tonight. I don't know what happens if the mayor chooses not to sign.
Well, you know, you're not signing in support of this, Pat, you're just signing.
I
as the
can't
action.
not sign it, it's
Oh,
been voted on.
I'm sorry, well, I'm sorry, I just didn't know, I was just
Are you thinking queen now or mayor?
Right,
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, and
No.
if it makes you feel better, Pat, all you're doing is signing that that's the action taken by the
I
council.
understand that.
It's not,
I'm
you're
good
not
with it.
endorsing.
I'm all right,
You're on record as voting no.
thank you. Okay, well, let's move on then. Resolution 12, 2015, IGA refreshing for fire service.